Quick sound check. Quick sound check. Okay, we have sound. Quick sound check. Okay, we have sound. All right. As always, it's a little too loud in here, so I'm gonna hold this like this. But we are alive. We're alive, and we're alive. Okay. I want to get down and dirty today. Right? We've been talking about, Valley of Despair, becoming a machine, yada, yada, yada. What does that mean? Right? What are the actionable steps to doing that? It's all fun and games when, you just have platitudes, right? But we don't just want platitudes. We don't just want to say things that make us feel good about inaction, right? Like, oh, dude, I just got to become I just got to become a machine. I just got to do cool stuff. And often you find yourself, you're not a machine, but you have to become a machine. And part of realizing that what encapsulates being a machine is realizing that you're not a machine. You're not a machine, and you're gonna crash out. It'll happen eventually. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna need to sleep. You're gonna need to rest. You're gonna need to eat. You might end up doom scrolling for a few hours. It might happen, especially if you're new to this, right? But people who are at the top, right? Like people like Jeff Bezos, Sam Ovens, even Elon Musk, like their fun is doing this shit, right? That's their fun. Their fun is this. This is what they get their dopamine out of. Like the average Joe Schmo wakes up and they open up TikTok, Instagram Shorts, Reels, and YouTube, whatever. They open that up and it's all good. It's all fun. And that's their fun, right? And then they get to work, right? And then work is like this thing. It's like, okay, I got to force myself to focus, right? And that's the difference, right? There's two types of focuses. And I did some research on this. I read this book by. I think I'm going to gatekeep this book until I'm happy to share it. But there's two types of attentions, and if you're smart enough, you could probably find the book yourself. But the two types of attention are spontaneous attention and what else is there? There's spontaneous attention and there's forced attention, right? Spontaneous attention is when you look at something and it immediately catches your attention, right? And it's like you don't even notice it. It's not even something that it's not a conscious act, right? Because we're studying attention, so I've been learning about this stuff. It's spontaneous. You don't even realize you're giving attention. It's almost like, you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to think about it. It's not even something that you realize afterwards that you just paid your attention. And maybe you do, but it's like oftentimes you don't even realize you're giving something your attention. And maybe if you're having a sobering moment for being doom scrolling for a few hours, you'll have like this moment of like, what the hell was I doing, right? I don't even remember the last 3 hours. I don't remember what I saw. But that's spontaneous attention, right? And spontaneous attention comes from what you're interested in. The thing you're interested in, you won't even realize you're giving it attention. But if you're at school and you don't want to do the work, let's say it's your least favorite subject because you suck at it or, whatever. You hate the teacher. And you want to get down and actually get good grades, so you force your eyes to look at the book, start reading, and it's like some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. You start making notes, and it's like just rote memory, just try to remember things. But that's not spontaneous. That's forced attention, and forced attention is really difficult to manage because it's incredibly taxing to the CNS. It's incredibly taxing mentally. You feel tired as a result of it. Like, you're expending calories. You're not just doing the thing, but forcing yourself to do the thing. It's almost like doubly taxing, and that's hard to do. When people are forcing attention, it's because they think they should be doing something, right? And there's a difference between wanting to do something and actually doing something, and that's what this video is about. Yeah, well, that's what this live is about, right? Don't make this mistake, right? The difference between success and failure is knowing who you're talking to, right? In the thumbnail, it's regarded as customer research, but it's a pretty broad topic, right? It's a pretty broad topic, and people who do like customer research, like actually do customer research, they win. They win. That's how you win. You just know who you're talking to, and the path appears in front of itself. Every other step falters. You misstep, you slip if you don't do this part right. And this is a part I've been struggling with because it comes from, like, it's not like someone can give you a roadmap on, customer research, because you have to decide who your customer is first, right? It's like, who can benefit from your product, and it might be a lot of people, right? It might be a lot of people, and you might be worried, like, oh, but if I focus down on one uber specific niche, I might miss out on like a bunch of people. But if you do that, you might not even get a customer, right? You might not even get someone to watch your video, and that's not good. That's that's anti-progress. And so people who do actual customer research, right? You have to realize that they're doing it because they know that that's what they have to do, right? And they do it because, well, they want their business to work, right? Like, you might get lucky being an idiot, right? At doing everything. Like, you can, like, a broken clock is right twice a day. I think that's the saying, right? But you don't want to be a broken clock. You want to be a working clock. And you want to look at the time and know exactly what time it is at all times. Right? And that's the difference. So when you're doing customer research, you have to know exactly who you're talking to. How old are they? What's their favorite movie? Do they even watch movies? What kind of content do they like? What do they do in their spare time? How many hours do they sleep? When they do have some downtime, what do they do? How can you get to them? What is something when they're running their business or when they're going about their day that is so evident or so, what's the word? Unique to their situation, that when you talk to them, when you send out your messaging, it's like, this dude knows what the hell I'm going through, right? So you have to know that, because that's the only way you get a forced, you get them to come out of the forced attention, and you get them into spontaneous attention, right? That's what that intro was, right? So it works double. You have to know who you're talking to, and you have to be able to focus on it. And the way to get focus on it, which will be, like, you can force focus, but it'll be incredibly taxing. But you just have to know this, that if you want something to work that you're working on, like, you're just gonna have to want it. And if you don't, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be more difficult, right? But on the other side of the coin, the flip side, you have um, you have to honor your work, right? You either believe or feel like you need to believe in this thing that you're doing, and you have to honor it. So you go ahead and you do it, and it's taxing, but you get through it. Or maybe it's not, it's subpar, but you're still working on it, right? And you can get to that finish line where it's good enough to work. But the person you're talking to, your customer, your viewer, your audience, they have to feel like you're talking directly to them. Otherwise, it doesn't work because they're inundated. Is that the right word? Inundated? Overwhelmed. Yeah, they're inundated by content all day long. That's all they have, right? Like obviously they're working and whatnot, but in their downtime, if they open up their phone, if they look at their email, they look at their LinkedIn, they check YouTube, they check Instagram, they check their DMs. If it's too vague, it just sounds like everyone else. But if you've done the research, it's like the words come out from the screen and they talk to you, right? And you have to be so specific. It's just a step below a stranger calling out your name in public, right? How does this person know my name? What is he talking about? Imagine if someone in public just called out your name and started talking to you. I'll come up with a better example. Imagine a beggar, right? A homeless man was like, change, please, right? Invisible. Most people don't even pay attention, right? Occasionally, someone will pay attention. It's a broad kind of way of going about it. But then you see all these homeless people with like really creative signs, right? And that's one way to do it. That's like doing TikTok dances, right? Get attention. It's mass market. But if they want to get some specific person's attention, right? They'd be like, "Hey, John, can I get some change? How do you know my name? What? You see how that works? Someone called out your name, you'd be more likely to interact with them, even if you didn't know them. You're like, how do you know me? Where do you know me from? You okay? What you going through? And that's the difference. And obviously you're not going to know their names, or knowing someone's name online isn't really a big deal. But if you you know transpose that into from their name, that personability to the specificity of their problem, you've hit something. And it's like it'll be like someone calling your name and you're like, wait, what? How do you know me? Or what do you know? And then when someone reads out something that's so clearly targeted to them, you'll find yourself in a position where they'll be willing to pay attention. And it might be a brief moment. It might be a brief moment, but that's a way to get them through the door. It's like a knock and they look inside, right? Right? If you're thirsty, right? If you're dehydrated, let's say you've just done a 10K, right? And there's two doors. One of the doors is saying, "I can help you. I can help you. I can help you," again and again. And the other door is saying, "Hey, I know you're thirsty. There's water back here. There's hydration, fluids. There's drinks. Everything you need right here." Right? What door are you more likely to go through? Right? Right? Hey, I can help you. I think you're gonna like what's behind here. Or, hey, if you're thirsty, there's water here. There's hydration. There's salts. That's what I mean. Right? The pain is the thirst, and you have to be so specific, right? And I feel like, and this is something I'm kind of working through myself, because it's like you have this idea because of movies about how sales is supposed to be, but it's not, right? It's literally just, hey, you got a problem. I've got the exact solution right here, and my solution is better than anything else on the market, and I think you're really gonna like it. And this is how it's gonna help you, and show them proof, right? That's the way it works. Knowing exactly what the problem is the big secret. Knowing exactly who you're talking to, what time they go to the toilet, what's their diet like, what's their favorite movie, what emotions are they more, you know, susceptible to, all of that. It's a step below stalking, honestly, but it's the only way you get any sort of unique insight over your competition. Like, that's the edge. Do you know your customer better than your competitor? If you do, then your messaging will be more clear. It's like a cascading effect that starts small, based off certain very specific information, and it cascades forward into larger dominoes. And that's the way to do it. There's no other way. So, yeah, you know, you may not think the information is relevant, but write it down. What have you learned about who your target audience is? Are you targeting thirsty people? Are you targeting people who write emails and need to write better? Perhaps you're selling an AI tool, you know? If you're selling an AI tool, you have to know exactly what people who could use that tool are suffering from, right? How many hours a day do they spend writing? And how many hours could you save them? And how much more of how much better quality is your tool going to make their work, right? Could they then, get a promotion because of how effective and efficient they are? It's like, could they scale their business with this tool? Could they, do more in an hour? And oftentimes a lot of problems revolve around time. Like, if you're saving people time, you're giving them more life, right? And so you have to know exactly how you're giving them more life, because their problems are very specific, and they're very specific people. And if you make the mistake of just saying, "Oh, I kind of want generally in this region of the industry," no, you cannot do that. It's a big mistake, right? I think the thumbnail does a good job. I had fun making that. I think the thumbnail does a good job at exemplifying what the hell I mean, right? Chad does customer research. No brain Bojack. I don't know, brain dead Bojack, whatever that is, doesn't, and that's the difference. So don't make that mistake, and you'll be good. Okay, don't make that mistake, and you'll be good. Okay, so yeah, that's a bit of kind of talking points for today. Message I wanted to get across. Let's talk about what I've been up to. I've been obviously, working on, I've noticed my content is very, what you call it, not specific enough. And that's why I wanted to get into this. So I'm learning at the same time I'm trying to teach. I'm a student and a teacher. DJ Shadow reference. Yeah, the videos I dropped yesterday, subpar. Bunch of fives and eights. Not good. But they taught me something. I realized, you know, something about hooks, something about getting your message across, and it's interesting. You know, I have to be more specific if I want to reach my 10-day timeline thing. And I don't want to make a bunch of fives and eights. So, you know, go for, you know, instead of throwing a barrage of mid punches, let's try to go for calculated counter punches, right? Cool little reference. And that's the way to go about it, right? You cannot be spending that much energy wasting your time. Like one of the videos got 183 views. Yeah, sucks. Don't want that. We're not going to reach anywhere close to where we want to if we do that. So, how can we fix that? Pattern disruption seems very interesting to me. You know, I'm a fan of cinema. I like cinematics. So I'm interested in high quality cinematic content that is a powerful pattern disruption. And that takes some creativity. So there's a bit of a creative spirit to this. There's a bit of a creative edge to this that you have to have. But obviously, I'm going to be turning that into a roadmap. But I've got some ideas of viral shorts. I've got one really promising idea that I like. Let's see if it works. But pattern disruption is what I want to do. And if you can find formats that are viral and disrupt the pattern that people are expecting, right? That ensures two things, right? We talked about forced and spontaneous attention. That achieves two goals, right? With a viral format that is spreading, and a lot of people are kind of making content based off that. That's interesting. We see it's kind of like the zeitgeist. We've caught society in a cycle. We talked about societal cycles. You've caught a cycle. And especially if you can convert it, reformat it with some pattern disruption, you've given your video an edge over the other ones that are like this. Let's say someone has seen like 5, 6 of these viral format videos, right? Maybe even 10, 20. And they follow a similar format, but they change certain variables. And people will watch them because that's kind of what's happening right now. And then if you can find a place in there where you can just flip it, right? You've already, like, the spontaneous attention is there. And then what you've done is created even more spontaneous attention. You flip it on its head, and you've got people more interested. And if you can add some creativity, a little bit of spice of your own creation into it, you'll find yourself in a beneficial position. Do you understand? So I think today I'm going to make one short. I'm going to make one. I'm going to post it tonight. And it's going to be a very simple one. And I've noticed that I'm getting sick of highly editing a video, right? And it not doing well. Like, there's certain videos where I'm just talking to the camera, no editing, except for like a few like chops, just to like very minimal editing, just taking out like blank spaces and things like that. And it's like 1.2K. It's like no music, no nothing, just people were interested in what the hell I was talking about. And I feel like I've kind of come away from that, right? But I recognize that I went away from that because I was looking for viral content that I could piggyback off, like trend jacking, right? It's like that's all cool, but what's more important is what I have to say. And if I can say that in an interesting way, using viral formats with as minimal editing as possible, doing a very sweet and a very clever pattern disruption, I may just go viral. Right? A little bit. I noticed it's a little bit autistic. It's like, if I just do this and I combine this, maybe I'll go viral. But that's the way to do it. I think it's obviously there's a lot more to it. You know, this is just like a kind of simple way of explaining the bullet point steps, and there's a lot more into it that comes with, you know, just putting in the time to just know what the hell to do with those steps. And yeah, and obviously, you know, you can't just pick any random format. It has to be something that fits. Like certain dances get trendy, but you don't want to be like a dancer, right? You don't want to dance for uh, TikTok, right? Like you can, but you know that's not what we're doing here, right? So that's where I'm at. Gonna be a short one. Once again, I've got a burrito waiting. In about 15 minutes, I'm gonna be going, but I also need to take a piss. So real bad. I was like, okay, now I know how to make. I really know, like I kind of know how to make like a 1,000 view video, but I really know how to make like a 400 view video, and I can definitely make like a 10 view video. And there is a certain thing I can do to get a 2K video, but there's something very specific about the 3K view video, and that's interesting to me. Obviously, when we go viral, not a if, when we go viral, there is a chance that the other videos on this list on my channel will gain viewership, and that's just an effect of going viral. And so it's a good thing to be aware of, right? Like your content may not be getting a lot of views now, but like give it a month, give it 2 months. When you hit that one viral video and your subscribers jump, everything else just kind of, it's a cascading effect. Everything's a cascading effect. If you can just find that one sweet, unique piece of information, we're digging for gold, essentially. And we're going to find it, people. We're going to find it. We're going to find gold. I don't think coffee helps. I don't think coffee helps when you need to take a piss. But I'm just gonna get to the half-hour mark, and I'm gonna drop it there. This was this may this was probably the most useful live I've done so far. Right? I mean, I think I've stepped up the live game a little bit with like the. I think I found a format of thumbnails that I like, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep doing that, and you know, with the lives as well. Like as the content progresses to be good, if you catch virality and your subscriber count increases, you'll find yourself everything just kind of like growing like just around that peak of virality. So that's the goal, right? We want to make continuously good content, but there is that underlying goal of finding that nugget of gold that'll just raise everything else. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. I've got some ideas I want to make happen, and yeah, I'm gonna get on that. Big thing is also like attention. Such an interesting thing. Once you start to notice how it works in your own mind, you start to notice, you start to really want to know how you can create it. And yeah, I don't know. Do you find this interesting? I do. Let me know what you think. All zero of you. Day 43, coming at you live. It's been real. Um, but yeah, the reason why I'm doing YouTube is because YouTube is like really hard to do, right? If I can do it on YouTube, I can do it on anything else. So there's a challenge there. It's hard to get virality on YouTube because it's hard to share things on YouTube, right? I'm a big believer of, I think virality occurs on other apps more so because, like Instagram is really easy, much easier, I'd say, to go viral on because sharing is like just a few clicks and it's like really fast. It's like you just click the arrow and then you just click who you want to share it with and you send. With YouTube, it's like click the share thing and it'll send a link and you have to pick which app, and then you pick the app and then you pick the person like you're sending on a WhatsApp or something, and it's like okay, and then it's a bit like it's like 5 6 extra like clicks on the screen. With TikTok, it's really easy to do in app. Instagram is really easy to share in app, but there's no messaging system in on YouTube, so it's harder to do. But got to find that gold nugget. If it works here, it'll work anywhere, right? If you can make fire in a rainforest, you can make fire anywhere, right? If I'm correct, it's hard to make a fire in a rainforest. Is it hard to make a fire in a rain forest? Yeah, it's hard. Apparently, you have to find pine needles. I don't know if they have those in the rainforest, but good luck. Good luck to me. Good luck to you. And yeah, don't forget to have fun because this is fun, right? It's like a video game, right? Grinding to find that little weapon to beat the final boss with. That's what customer research is. Did you get it? All right. Well, this was good. Um, I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go piss. I'm gonna go. Not in that order. I'm gonna just figure it out. And I think because of my research today, which I have been doing, I'm each day it's like I'm going to be doing this now and I'm going to be doing this now, but that's good. That's a good thing, right? Keep constantly changing. We started from nothing, so the information available was low, and you just have to find those golden nuggets. And if you can find them, you're in the money. And don't be afraid to switch strategies based on verified new information that just makes sense, right? It just makes sense. I had a note here. And I wanted to leave you guys with this quote. If you see this, God bless you. But the most success comes from doing the most tedious and boring tasks longer than anyone else is willing to. Do you understand that? Customer research is really boring, and each person's journey is unique. Their sources are different. But if you can find that gold nugget, it doesn't matter. So, a lot of it is thinking on your feet. But we're learning. It's been real. Be good. Do good things. Subscribe and good things happen. Or don't, you know. It's okay. They'll come around. Um, Subscribe and good things happen. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Use your brain. See you tomorrow.